folks, welcome to the Litmus tutorial videos. I'm Uma Mukara, one of the maintainers on the Litmus project. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to get started with Litmus. In this tutorial, what we'll do is we'll briefly talk about the general steps that are needed to get your first chaos experiment to run. This can be done either completely as an administrator, or typically what is done is you install Litmus as an admin, and the chaos can be run by developers who may have access privileges at the namespace level. Right? So first we'll do that mode, and towards the end we will try to run the same chaos in the administrator mode. So the general first step is you need admin privileges to install Litmus, because Litmus installs CRDs which require admin privileges. And when you install, two things will happen. One is Litmus operator get installed in Litmus namespace, and then the CRDs get installed. And after that, you can do the rest of the stuff as a developer or whoever. You need not have admin privileges from this point onwards, right? So you can you download a chaos experiment, and then you construct a chaos engine spec, attach it to your target application, and with this chaos experiment, and then you run it by running this chaos engine. So when chaos engine is applied, operator picks it up, runs the chaos runner job with that chaos experiment against a given target application. And then you can observe the results through metrics, chaos events, and also as chaos results CR. So let's take a look at the actual process. So here I have 3 nodes on Amazon EKS, and I have one application deployed called SockShop, the famous microservices demo example, and I don't have anything else. So this is the SockShop application. I do not have Litmus installed yet, and I have set up monitoring for this SockShop application with Prometheus and Grafana. So let's take a look at that. Grafana. So if you look at this application dashboard, it has got multiple microservices running, and the orders, queries per second, and orders latency, catalog queries per second, and catalog latency. These are some of the microservices. So we are going to introduce, install Litmus and introduce a pod delete experiment, and you will see performance dip like this happening, and then coming back to the normalcy. So here about 1300 queries per second are happening, and let's actually refresh it every 10 seconds. So our test is, let's create our first chaos against catalog DB, and let's see the actual pods. in that sock shop namespace. So it's been running. We're going to introduce a pod kill against catalog DB. So let's keep looking at this. So first step is to introduce Litmus as an admin. So let's see if I'm admin or not. So I have admin privileges. The context is set for cluster admin. So I should be able to go and install Litmus straightforward. So what you do is best step to get started is docs. Go to our docs website. So getting started is as simple as apply this YAML manifest, and once you apply it, you get the CRDs. You verify if the CRD APIs are up. That's your first step as admin is done. And then you actually go into the Litmus experiments, where you can do this as a developer as well. Litmus experiment involves going and getting the required experiment from your hub, and then set up a service account, and then annotate your application, and then create your chaos engine, and then run it. So we'll start with installing Litmus. So Litmus is installed. So in the Litmus namespace, you have the chaos operator running, and you will also have the CRDs, the Litmus CRDs. So there are three CRDs. Experiments or the chaos experiment engine that ties the experiment to an application results, or to show the chaos result. All three are the CRDs. So the next step is set up RBAC, and RBACs are specific to your chaos experiments. So in this case, we need chaos experiment of pod delete. So best way is to go to chaos hub and pick it up from there. So pod delete experiment is inside generic experiment charts. So pod delete, you can pick it up and install this one in a sock shop namespace. We're not installing in Litmus, we're installing it in sock shop namespace. So let's see if we have chaos experiments installed. So there are no chaos experiments installed. So I will go and get that. So we have your experiment readily available inside your namespace. The next step is to go and get your service account set up. So what I'll probably do is I'll just get that YAML file. Let's create a directory called demo. And we'll get that RBAC file. So you need to set the namespace here. Namespace is by default namespace. So let's replace that. So you got you don't need to change anything else, just the namespace here. So what we are doing here really is create a service account in that namespace and create a role with for this resources with this permission, and then attach that role to this service account, this role binding. So we can apply this now. Inside that, let's see if the service account is really set up. Support delete service account is set up. So we have installed the chaos experiment and set up the service account. Now next step is to go and get the chaos engine and tune it to your needs. So a sample chaos engine spec for this experiment is given under the same experiment. So you take that and get it into a file, chaos engine spec.yml. So here you need to change the namespace. Let's change this to shop, and application namespace is also to be changed. And you need to give an app label that is unique for your target. So sometimes app equals to may not be unique, such as in this case. So I'm going to give a unique label, which is name catalog db. So this is what is name unique in this particular case. And annotation check is true. That really means that we need to annotate the corresponding deployment with chaos equal to true, which will be our next step. And service account is correct, and the experiment that we are including for this chaos engine is pod delete, which we have already created in shop namespace. And some of the tunables are how long you want to do it. Here in this case, by default for 30 seconds with 10-second intervals each, so 3 times. We're just going to make it 6 times. I'm just converting that into 60 seconds. So the only thing that's remaining is annotation check. So let's actually see if we have any annotations on this particular deployment. So we don't have LitmusChaos equal to true here annotation, so we can annotate it using the annotate command. It must be there in the document. Copy this, so we have annotated, and right now this annotation is set up properly. So we are good. We annotated, we set up the service account, we install the chaos experiment, we have the readily available chaos engine. So you will see that this catalog DB gets killed the moment we apply that, and the application performance may be affected, right? So let's introduce chaos. So as you can see here, chaos runner just started, chaos catalog runner, and it's already started terminating, and the other one got restarted, and pod delete is the one that is now running. The second instance also got started. So you should see some application getting dip again. So as you can see that as soon as the pod went down, you can see the application getting affected, and probably hopefully it will come back. But this is how you can introduce chaos with 3 simple steps. So once that is done, you can observe the chaos result. So pod delete chaos result is created, the chaos result. So you can describe that CR to see if the application is coming back to normalcy. So the result is the pod delete experiment is a pass, which really means that the default checks that we check for after chaos is injected have been realized, which in this case is most likely the pod is rescheduled or not, but you can change those post conditions for a more specific checks if you need, right? So that's about how you run your basic chaos experiment. So let's take a look at what is administrator mode. We have the docs that are explaining the administrator mode in detail. Administrator mode is nothing but you are running all the experiments also with admin privileges, and the advantage of doing this is you will have the chaos experiments that are tuned, which can be shared by your chaos engines, right? So you may have multiple applications that require the same pod delete, for example, and you don't need to go create your chaos experiments again and again in the namespace. In each namespace, you can put them into the Litmus namespace and then create the chaos engines for the target applications and then get the same results. So in this whole case, because you are running as admin, you don't need to annotate as well each and every deployment that's going to undergo chaos. So you will have more simpler steps, but you're running everything as an admin, and so you need to be careful. So if your chaos is only being practiced by administrators, then you can go ahead and do it as all the chaos in Litmus namespace. But if you're setting up Litmus for your developers, then you just install Litmus, and then developers can go and do their own chaos within their namespaces by creating their experiments, chaos engines, and also corresponding service accounts, and doing the required annotations on the target applications. So that's all we have in this tutorial. Thank you very much.